in a tzaddik, it's a lot harder than to believe in HaShem Yitbarach. Because in HaShem Yitbarach there is no contest. You don't, for sure that he is bigger than you. But when you see a person that is in a certain way, he is just like you, and you need to bend yourself and to accept the fact that he is much bigger than you, much important than you. This is something that the Yetzer Hara is fighting against that. Are you going to accept that? You're the same. So, נמצא, we can understand now, כשהצדיק שומע דיבור של תורה, that when the tzaddik is hearing a speech of Torah, words of Torah, מפי הקדוש ברוך הוא, from the mouth of בורא עולם, יש להדיבור שלמות. So then the speech becomes complete. Why? כי הדיבור תלוי ביראה, because the speech depends in the יראה, in the fear from heaven. והוא שומע הדיבור, and fear from heaven, like we learned, it depends in your ears. It depends, it's a good word to say. Depends in hearing those diburim. והוא שומע הדיבור, and he is hearing those דיבורים, בבחינת, in an aspect of לשמוע בכל דברו, to hear his voice, to hear HaShem when he's talking. נמצא, so we can understand now, מי ששומע מפיו בעצמו, that if a person can hear from himself, from the tzaddik himself, מקבל דיבור לשון הקודש בשלמות, so he accepts the speeches of the holy language in a complete way, in a perfect way. היינו, ביראה, it means with fear from heaven, means that it's going to help him, means that the shiur that he's hearing is going to work for him, going to help him.
He's hearing from
the tzaddik. This is what we said, that the last part that we saw, the last paragraph, it was written that there is a difference between a person that is hearing a shiur from a tzaddik, or that he's hearing it from his student, or that he is reading it from the book. So when the tzaddik is hearing from the tzaddik, from who? From the Rebbe. Who is that Rebbe? The Rebbe is Borei Olam. It's his Rebbe. He's listening from him. So he's receiving it in the most strongest way. And what he received? He received yirah, fear from heaven. כי זה לשון הקודש, because that holy language, יש לו שלמות. It is fixed. מחמת, because of the aspect of, ובחינת, לשמוע בכל דברו, that we're listening to the voice that he is saying, כי שלמות הדיבור, because to fix the דיבור, תליה ביראה, it depends in fear from heaven, והיראה, and the fear from heaven, תליה באודנין, depends in your ears, if you're listening, or if you're not listening, כנ"ל, like we learned. אבל מי ששומע מפי אחר, but the person that is hearing from someone else, from a second person, third person, הוא רחוק מזה השלמות. He becomes to be very far from fixing the לשון הקודש, the holy language. It takes time, it becomes weaker, כי כבר ירד ממדרגתו, because it went down from its level. וזה, this is what that it's written in the verse. HaShem שמעתי שמעך יראתי. HaShem, when I was listening to your voice, I became to be pruned. I became to be afraid from you, בורא עולם. כשהשמיעה מפי הצדיק בעצמו, when you're listening to something that is coming out from the mouth of the tzaddik himself, שהוא שומע מפיך, that he is hearing the diburim from you, directly from Borei Olam. So this is what it means, שמעתי שמעך. I heard from the one that heard from you. And also יראתי. Even though that it's not directly from you, Borei Olam, I heard it from the tzaddik. And the tzaddik, he heard it from you. שמעתי שמעך. I didn't hear you. I didn't שמעתי אותך. It doesn't written שמעתי את דבריך. I heard your voice. I heard your speeches. I heard from someone that heard you. שמעתי שמעך. I heard from someone that heard you. And even though יראתי. שמעתי שמך, יראתי. The yira is coming even though that it's a second level. But it's not as to hear from the source itself.
And second level, וכולי, and from here, and so on.
It's going down
just
from the
a
level.
second. All right.
The biggest tzaddik that it's going to be, it's not Borei Olam. Where is he and where Borei Olam is? He's still a creation of Borei Olam. So, and the difference between us to the tzaddik, it's maybe even bigger than the difference that there is between the tzaddik to Borei Olam.
Right, but I can hear from a student who heard from a student who heard from a student, and it's still Bechina Shemati Mishimech.
It is a Bechina, the Yira can come, but it's a lot lower level. We need to believe that if we're receiving the information from someone, it means that this is our vessels. This is how Borei Olam. I remember myself a lot of times, a lot of very important things that I heard from Harav. I heard that by a second person, that he heard Harav, that he said so. And of course that it wasn't like to be there, but I was not capable. I'm sure that I was not capable to hear what Harav was saying. If I was there, I was supposed to receive a lot more things that were causing damage for me. There is a lot of, like we were talking yesterday, there is a lot of kitrug, a lot of verdicts that are coming from the left side in heaven, from the angels, that are saying that person is not worthy to receive the Torah Kedosha. So if Borei Olam, he wants to give the Torah Kedosha, and the Yetzer Hara is saying they're not worthy to receive the Torah Kedosha, so he's saying, alright, I'm going to pick someone that is not worthy to bring the Torah Kedosha. And then he's going to tell those things, and there is no anger, there is no verdicts, and now they can receive. This is how Borei Olam is doing things. A lot of things like those happening and happened in the creation from the beginning, like David HaMelech, like Avraham Avinu, that they couldn't come to the world. David HaMelech, he couldn't come to the world. The Yetzer Hara said there is no life for him. So Adam HaRishon took 70 years from his life and gave it to David HaMelech, and it wasn't enough. Still the Yetzer Hara couldn't let David HaMelech come to this world. So Borei Olam said, I'm going to bring him to a house, that in that house there's going to be a doubt. Maybe he's a Jew, maybe he's not, maybe he's a Goy. Because they had a doubt if Moaviyah, Ruta Moaviyah, she can make a Giyur or not. So it was also a doubt. And then he's going to be from, it wasn't the most perfect birth. Also his father, he thought that he was with a maid and Mesharetet, and there was a lot of stories, and the brothers were fighting with him, and he was outside with the sheep and goats, locked in their cage, in the, how you say, pen. Nice. You can use pen for every word that you want. It's not a problem. If you lack of a word, you say pen, and it's wonderful. Okay. Pen. So, also Avraham Avinu, Terach, his father, he wanted to bring the worst neshama to the world. So he decided to come to his wife when she was a nida, in the most horrible day in the year. And because he was the biggest wizard of all of that generation. He was selling Avodah Zarah for all of the world. And he wanted to bring the neshama that's going to ruin the world, going to destroy the world, that's going to kill Nimrod. That Nimrod, he was the worst creature that ever been created in the world in that generation. And he wanted to bring someone that's going to be worse. And Borei Olam is hiding himself and doing things to bring the neshama of Avraham Avinu. Because you cannot bring the neshama of Avraham Avinu in Moshe Rabbeinu. He needs to grow in the palace of Paro, in the middle of the filth of all of the Avodah Zarah over there, and he's fighting and struggling to hold his Kedusha. And he feels that he's the worst person in all of this world, because you see, all of Am Yisrael are suffering, and me, Moshe Rabbeinu, like a prince, everything's wonderful, giving me everything, everyone listening to my voice. Why? I'm the worst. I don't have the power to stand in their suffering. This is how Borei Olam is hiding the tzaddikim from the kitrug, from the anger of the Yetzer Hara. So we need to understand that even if we're not listening from the source himself, like Rav Berland said, we need to be happy that we never saw the face of Rabbeinu HaKadosh. Because if we would have seen him, we would have contradicted him. We would fight against him, running after him and throwing stones on him. This is what Rav Berland said, it's not us. It's Rav Berland, he knows what he's talking about. Rabbeinu, for us it's easy to accept Rabbeinu. Why? Because there is no contest. You see someone that was huge, was over there, and us, we know that we're far. But if now you see someone that is young and is, I don't know what, there is a lot of reason why to contradict him, why to fight against him. This is why it's better for us that we came in this generation, that there is a lot more tzaddikim that are chewing the food for us, that we're gonna digest it, that we're gonna be able to receive it, to take something out of it. Because we're like babies, mamash. We're so small and we're so gentle because we're so offended in all of our lives. In so many troubles happen to each and every one of us. And even if we feel strong and we feel Baruch Hashem, we're so sensitive. Every small thing that someone is saying to us, we offended and we feel bad and we're falling into sadness immediately. It doesn't need to be something strong. Why? Because we're sensitive. If someone is getting injured in his hand and now you're going to touch that, so he's sensitive. It's going to hurt him a lot more. This is us. This is Am Israel. Rav Berland said that after the Holocaust, while the Holocaust in the Shoah, Am Israel fell down 500 years in the generations, like 500 years. We know that the generations are falling down. The level of the generation is falling down from a generation to a generation. We see that Tanaim, Amoraim, we cannot even understand what were they thinking, how they could contain all of the information, all of the Kedusha that they had. We don't understand what it's talking about at all. But so because of that it is, but by that it's falling, Borei Olam is saving us. And in the generation of the Holocaust, the generation fell 500 years. Like 500 years of suffering happened to Israel. It's something, and by that privilege, Am Israel could get inside to Eretz Israel. And to receive the Kedusha, you cannot receive it when you're rich. You cannot receive it when you're wise. You cannot receive it because you have to be humble. You have to be so low to receive the Kedusha, because the Kedusha, the Torah, she's got the nature of water, and water, we know that they are going to low places. This is Borei Olam. This is the nature of Borei Olam. He's after the weak and the widow and the orphans and the ger. He's coming after. He wants to help the ones that are alone, the ones that need support. This is the nature of the Kedusha. He's looking after who to help, to provide, to support. This is the will of the Kedusha. And if a person, he is already large and wise and huge and important, so the Kedusha is saying, alright, so you can succeed. Alright, succeed yourself. I'm going to help the poor. So this is why Borei Olam is doing all of that. It's a wonderful present that we're receiving from Borei Olam, that He's bringing us low, and by that He's giving us all of the wonderful things that we need, that we must achieve. Because if it was dependent in our choice, first of all, we would establish a very good parnasa, income for all of us, and then buying a house for everyone, and then a wonderful obeyed woman, tzaitanit, obedient woman, that she's doing exactly what you're telling her to do. Very quiet kids that are not doing no noise. I remember one of my friends, he told me that his wife once was screaming in the house, and she said, I cannot bear that noise. He told her, say thank you that we have noise. It's a wonderful noise that you have noise in your house. Say thank you. How much we need to be happy that we have noise in our houses. These houses, there is no noise over there. So we need to understand that by those, everything that we want to achieve, all of those qualities, all of those wonderful things that everyone wants to have. He wants to have a wonderful wife, a parnasa, to be a Talmid Chacham. If you're going to have all of those things, why you need to stay here? This is the world to come that you're after. You're after the result. But it's written, Lama v'totzaot. The results are coming after death, after 120. So this is why a person have to understand that the lacking that we have here in this world, this is the tachlit. The tzaddikim, they understand that they are nothing, that they doesn't have nothing from themselves. This is why all of the time they're davening to Borei Olam to fulfill their needs, to give them everything that they need. This is tzaddik, that you understand that only Borei Olam can help him. Only Borei Olam can provide the things that he needs. So he's learning to know HaShem. And if you have everything, you don't need to learn nothing. You have everything. You know everything. This is what Rabbeinu said. Ikar ha'idiyah, the main thing that we should know, shelo neda, is that we don't know. If you learn something and now after you finish Gemara and Rashi and Tosfot and you think that you hold that sugya, you haven't understood it. There is that story about, I think it was is the Mefaresh in the Gemara, Rabbi Akiva Iger, that there was one, Rabbi Akiva Iger is asking questions, very hard questions about the Gemara. And one time someone came to his students and told them that he figured out all of the questions of Rabbi Akiva Iger except of two questions. He couldn't find the solution for them, but the rest he found the solution. So they answered to him, those two that you haven't found the solutions, those are the questions that you understood and you haven't found the solution. And the rest that you found the solutions, you haven't understood the questions. Understood it? No. Then explain it again. So, the fact that we lack of things, this is what that is connecting us to Borei Olam. Because the nature of Borei Olam is to give, is to influence, is to help, is to provide, is to support, is to hug, is to love. This is his nature. This is the nature of Borei Olam. And if you want to connect yourself to Borei Olam, you have to receive from him. You have to be like him also to help, and to provide, and to hug, and to love, and to help other people. To be like him. But you have to have your face to Borei Olam that you just receive from Borei Olam. And if you have everything, you don't have nothing to receive. So this is why we need to understand that all of those lackings, all of those things that Borei Olam is putting to us in our lives, those are the most important presents that we're receiving from Borei Olam. Things that you have, it doesn't mean that you have them, actually. Things that you don't have, you can achieve. Things that you have, if a person, he learned something and now he become arrogant because of that, he lost all of his limud. He's losing it by the arrogance, by the stupidity that he's taking it to himself and it's become to be his. So he's losing. He's losing the thing. Why? Because he doesn't understand that he received that from Borei Olam. But if you understand that you depend in Borei Olam and you don't have nothing and everything that you're receiving from Borei Olam, you're saying thank you to Borei Olam, and you understand, you have a hakarat hatov. I say hakarat hatov. Pen. No pen. Appreciation. Gratitude to Borei Olam. You have gratitude to Borei Olam. So you can receive, you can contain, you can have. Why? Because it's not yours. You understand that it's not yours. You understand that it's coming from Borei Olam. Only Borei Olam is a reality. If a person starts to imagine that he is a reality also, he is cutting himself from the reality, from Borei Olam, that he is enod milvado. There is nothing except Borei Olam. So, this is a chizuk for us that we're hearing from students, that hearing from students, that hearing from students. So, וזה השם שמעתי שמך יראתי. כשהשמיעה מפי הצדיק בעצמו, when we hear from the tzaddik himself, שהוא שומע מפיך, that he is hearing from your mouth, בבחינת עושה דברו, those are the tzaddikim that are making the speeches of Borei Olam, לשמוע בכל דברו, to hear what that he is saying after it. וזה שמעך, and this is why that it's written שמעך, שהוא שומע ממך, that he is hearing from you. I cannot hear from you, בורא עולם. We know that when Am Yisrael told בורא עולם, told Moshe Rabbeinu, after in Matan Torah, Borei Olam started to say the 10 commandments, and he said the first one, and Am Yisrael died. All of them died. Lo irani adam v'chai. They couldn't stand the kedusha of Borei Olam, and he brought the dew of Tchiyat HaMetim, and they all woke up. And then again, he was talking to them. They all died. They cannot. And so he brought the dew of Tchiyat HaMetim and raised them. And then they went to Moshe Rabbeinu and they said, please Moshe, you're going to talk to us. We cannot hear from Borei Olam. We don't have the vessel to hear directly from Borei Olam. Borei Olam loved that. Borei Olam appreciate that Am Yisrael are going to the tzaddik. This is an answer for all of the guys that are asking, is it okay to talk to Rabbeinu in the Itbodedut? I want to talk to HaShem, I want to talk to HaShem. Is it okay to talk to the tzaddik in the Itbodedut? It's not just that it's okay. This is why Borei Olam sent the tzaddik. Borei Olam sent the tzaddik that he's going to be a middleman between Am Yisrael to him, to Borei Olam. He's like a lawyer. He's standing in the middle and he's compromising between Am Yisrael to Borei Olam. He's bringing the peace between Am Yisrael to Borei Olam. When Am Yisrael are sinning, the tzaddik is standing and going to Hashem Yitbarach, Moshe Rabbeinu, and saying to Borei Olam, what do you want from them? It's human being. You're doing, אתה הראותה, אתה הסיבות הליבה מאחורנית. It's your fault. He's blaming Hashem. And when he's coming to Am Yisrael, he's saying to Am Yisrael, חטאתם חטאה גדולה, you made a horrible crime, a horrible sin you made. He's rebuking them. This is the tzaddik. To Borei Olam, he's giving what Borei Olam needs. To Am Yisrael, he gives what Am Yisrael needs. This is what it's written, Ish Chacham Yechaperena. Only the tzaddik can compromise between Borei Olam to Am Yisrael. Because Borei Olam, he made an oath. He said that he's gonna throw away Am Yisrael to the Galut. And Gemara is saying that Borei Olam is saying, Oy li shenishbati, I'm sorry, I regret that I made that oath that Am Yisrael gonna suffer so much. ועכשיו אין מי שמפר לי. But now there is no one that's going to break that neder, that's going to break that oath. So, what Borei Olam is doing? Borei Olam is sending a tzaddik to the world. A tzaddik, it's a wise person. ואיש חכם יחפרנה. You need to go to the tzaddik. You're going to the Rav to break your neder. This is exactly what is going on. The tzaddik is finding kav zchut. He's finding an opening to Borei Olam in his neder to show to Borei Olam that, so to speak, Borei Olam was not miyushav bedato. He was not thinking about it until the end when he made that oath. And the tzaddik is finding a path for Borei Olam to regret and to break that vow and to bring his wife back, to bring Am Yisrael back, and to marry us again and to be one with Am Yisrael and the Torah Kedosha. It's all by the power of the tzaddik. And Rav Shalom said it's so obvious and people cannot see that. The first Geulah that we had by Moshe Rabbeinu, it was by Moshe Rabbeinu. The second Geulah that Am Yisrael had that was a success by Mordechai Yehudi v'Esther HaMelka, it was only by the tzaddikim, only by Mordechai Yehudi v'Esther HaMelka. And the third Geulah that we're waiting that's going to happen, it's also have to come by a tzaddik. But everyone wants to be a tzaddik himself. Everyone wants to be a tzaddik. And this is the problem. This is the biggest Yetzer Hara of them all. Rav Shalom said, it's the biggest Yetzer Hara of them all that the person wants to be a tzaddik himself instead of be humble and go after the tzaddikim. Listen to the voice of the tzaddikim. If we were in the generation of Moshe Rabbeinu, someone wants to replace Moshe Rabbeinu, you have Moshe Rabbeinu. It's enough to be part of his supporters, of his followers, to be with him. Rabbi Natan, someone wants to replace Rabbeinu. When they told Rabbi Natan that he's going to replace Rabbeinu, he said no one can replace Rabbeinu. No one
one can replace Rabbeinu. Who wants to replace Rabbeinu? If you love your Rebbe, you want to replace him, chas v'shalom. We love Moshe Rabbeinu, we love Rabbi Nachman, we love Rav Shalom. Who wants to replace him, chas v'shalom? We're happy that he achieved that he's the Rebbe. We want to be his followers. What we want to do in the world to come. They asked me once, what do you want to achieve in the world to come? I told them, I want to be with Avreche Chut Shel Chesed in the yeshiva over there, and to listen to the shiurim of Rav Shalom, in Shabbos, 3 seudot, once a week, another shiur. What do you want to achieve? More than what that you have here in this world, you want to achieve in the world to come? You want to hear diburim? What? You have a desire to hear diburim from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? Tell me about that. Can you understand who is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? From your Rav, you can understand. From Rav Shalom, you see him, you can understand, you can grab something from it. So what do you want to achieve? You want to sit with the Arizal? You want to sit with Moshe Rabbeinu? What is your connection with the Arizal? Who are you and what you're going to do with Rabbi Akiva? You can understand. Alright, to see them. Alright, that you see Harav is talking to them, shaking their hands, hugging them. Wonderful that they're going to bless him and his students. And we're going to be part of that group, Bezrat Hashem. Right. This is what we're after. You want to achieve something to be bigger than your Rebbe, to be bigger than all of that generation, to be with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Let's hope that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai going to bless us, that Rabbi Akiva going to look at us, that this is what we need. We're very small, and we need to be happy with it. Because there is a tale. Rabbeinu is saying a tale. Rabbeinu is saying that the king, he wanted to conquer a city, and he went with all of his forces, all of his army, and everyone was fighting and throwing huge stones on the wall, and it was a very hard war, and a lot of years it took. And after it, the king was standing alone, and all of his troops, all of his soldiers died, and he couldn't conquer the city. But then he was looking at the wall of the city. With his wisdom, he understood that it needs a small effort to break the wall and to conquer the city, because they harmed the city also in that battle for years. So he went back alone to the city, to his city, and called the women and the old and the kids, and told them, let's go together. And with them, with the weak people, he conquered that city. He went inside to the city because he needed to achieve only a small effort. He didn't have no more soldiers, and he conquered that battle. In the end, he won that battle with the women and the kids. And this is what Rabbeinu said: with the simple people, Borei Olam going to bring the Geulah. With the women that are saying Tehillim. Let's say the story of the Tehillim. With the women that are saying Tehillim. And with with us, people that are doing Shait Bodedut, davening on Am Yisrael. So you're not a tzaddik. You don't need to be a tzaddik. It's not your job to be a tzaddik. Your job is to be happy with your share. Your job is to support your friends. Your job is to try to learn Torah with all of the problems that you have. Your job is to try to do tshuva, to come, to believe in the power of the tzaddik, that he's saying to you, count on me, I'm going to bring you to the place of tshuva, I'm going to do tshuva for you, I'm going to help you, don't worry, you don't need to scared, you don't need to be afraid, don't give up. This is our job. If someone is imagine that he is in a different place, so there is a lot of mental care institutions. We can help him with a ride over there. After a few weeks, we can bring him back, Bezrat Hashem, to the yeshiva also. We're waiting for everyone. Reality, everyone, look at yourself. Everyone, realize we're very weak. We're very weak. This is the generation. The fact that there is darkness, it's not because that we are going in darkness. It's because that Borei Olam turned off the light. There is darkness. Who are we going to fight with? There is darkness. There is weakness. There is fear, there is worries, it's the Yetzer Hara of this generation. What can we do? We need to survive, we need to daven, we need to hold ourselves together. Like Rabbeinu said, Rak tachziku atzmechem beyachad. Just hold yourself together, as tiyu anashim ksherim. Then you're going to be righteous men. Only then, only if you're going to hold yourself together. Rabbeinu said, if now you see that you're progressing, that you're growing, now you're leaving your group, you're leaving the group, you're going to another place, You become to be stronger than all of your friends. You're going to somewhere else. Why? Think about it. Rabbeinu said that. If you are wise, if you are bigger, so your friends need you. And if Chas Shalom you're going to get weaker, so your friends also going to help you. But even if you are bigger, if you are stronger, why not helping the weak ones? Why you not staying in your place? Why you need to grow? Why you forgetting your brothers? Why you forgetting your friends? People that they are weak, they are weaker than you. They're not good as you, not in Gemara, not in Tfilah, not in Itbodedut, not in Kedusha matters. You're right, you're the best. So, help us. We need your help. Exactly this is why we need you. So you achieve the present from Borei Olam. So stay. This is the Yetzer Hara of a person. All of the time he wants to grow, he wants to change, he wants to do, he wants to... You don't need to do nothing. Borei Olam is Ribon al Kol HaMaasim. He's doing everything. Just smile. Just smile. Just be part of that group. Just be part of the yeshiva. Just be part of Am Yisrael. The Shekhinah Kdosha is saying, Betoch Ami Anochi Yoshevet. The Shekhinah Kdosha, she can be in heaven. She can be in heaven if she wants. It's the Shekhinah Kdosha, but she's saying, Betoch Ami Anochi Yoshevet. Yirmiyahu Hanavi, after all of the disaster of Am Yisrael, Chorban Bet HaMikdash, and all of the horrible things that happened in Chorban, Yirmiyahu Hanavi stayed. Yirmiyahu Hanavi, he was the Navi that warned all of Am Yisrael before of the disaster, before of the Chorban, and they were all laughing at him, and hitting him, and beating him, and ruined his life, ruined Yirmiyahu Hanavi. What?
They almost killed him.
Almost killed Yirmiyahu Hanavi. And after it, when all of Am Yisrael went to Babel in the horrible Galut, Yirmiyahu Hanavi staying in Jerusalem, helping all of the people that are injured, all of the people that are poor. He's davening on Am Yisrael. Where he can go? What you have to do outside? Where are you going to go? He could go before. He doesn't want to go. His heart is with Am Yisrael. This is what we need to wake up. We need to wake up our heart, to have a heart, to wake the heart that it's going to feel. That the heart going to feel. You have brothers, you have sisters, you have friends. If a person is taking care of himself all of the time, he will not achieve nothing. But when a person forgets a little bit about himself and is going to help others, Borei Olam going to supply all of his needs. He's going to help him with all of the things that he needs. The one that is taking care of the kids of Borei Olam going to take care of his kids. If you're running after the kids of Borei Olam to help them, it's written in the Zohar HaKadosh, in the Gemara Kedosha, a lot of places. Ashrav, we're praising the person, the Zohar HaKadosh is saying of the person that is holding the hand of a Chayava, of a person that he is Chayav, that he is guilty, and helping him to do tshuva. You're holding him. What the Zohar HaKadosh is saying, a person like that, Borei Olam is holding his picture. Borei Olam has got poster in his hall, in his palace. He's got a poster of your face, and every day he's looking portrait on your portrait, and he's saying, "This is my son," and he's kissing that portrait, your face. If you're just holding the hand of the Chayava, of people that are guilty, and you're helping them to do tshuva, help another person to do tshuva. It's not our job to help all of Am Yisrael to do tshuva. There is millions of them, we cannot reach them all. We cannot, even if we're going to try. Rav Shalom said, even if you're going to fly in the world 24 hours a day, you're not going to cover all of the world. You cannot. Even the hugest people that are doing the biggest hafatzah, Rav Boide, Rav Shalom, how many people they can find in one day? 100 people? Rav Shalom is given a shiur. You're going to find 100 people, 200 people, 300 people. It's live in the internet. 1,000 people a day. How much is it? Am Yisrael that's going to live, that's going to succeed. It's millions. It's over 10 millions. It's almost 15, 13, 12 millions in Shichyu. How can you cover all of those numbers of Am Yisrael? We need to understand, it's not our job to help all of those millions. Our job is to help another one. Mitzvah ba liadcha, al tachmitzena. You have a mitzvah that is coming to your hand, don't miss it. Someone is coming to you, smile to him. Don't miss that smile. Someone is asking you a question, don't be hurried, don't be rushed. Tell him, yes, what are you asking? Be with him. This is what Borei Olam wants from us. Borei Olam doesn't want us to be angels. If Borei Olam wanted us to be angels, He was creating us to be angels. He wanted us to be like that. In a body that cannot move so fast, that have his needs, that needs to rest, that needs to run after Parnasah. Borei Olam wants that. This is the will of Borei Olam. It's not our will, it's the will of Borei Olam. We just need to surrender our will to the biggest will of them all, the will of Borei Olam. To surrender, to accept it. And now after, it means to break our arrogance. Because the person always, like Rav Shalom is saying that over and over again and again, the person always wants to achieve that promise of the snake that he promised to Adam and Chava. He promised them, V'item ke'Elokim. You're going to be like HaShem. You're going to be like Elokim. So the Yetzer Hara of the person always wants to achieve that, to be like HaShem, to be huge, to be... You want to be a tzaddik, Rav Shalom said, you want to be like Rabbi Shimon? Wonderful. Go, bury yourself in a cave for 13 years with your son until the neck, without your clothes, and you're going to be like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Why aren't you coming and standing up? Why are you not going? You don't want to be Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. You want to be Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? Alright, do what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai done. You want to be Yosef HaTzadik? Do what Yosef HaTzadik done. Go to the prison, to the jail in Egypt for 12 years, like we saw Gilad Shalit coming out after 5 years. Go for 12 like those, come out happy. You're going to be Yosef HaTzadik, don't worry. You're going to be Yosef HaTzadik, it's for sure. Daven like Yosef HaTzadik, close your eyes, don't look at women, go to prison for 12 years. If they're going to tell you that you need to go to 4 days to prison, how your face going to look like? All depression. Rav, don't know what to do. Listen, they gave me doch. I said doch. Ticket, fine. And what are you gonna do? All falling into sadness. So you don't want to be Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef HaTzadik was dancing. He was happy. He was cheering himself up. He had his downs. He had his fallings. So true. He remembered his father, he remembered his mother. When he saw the grave of his mother, he was crying. Every time that he remembered his mother, he was crying for sure. He's a person with a heart. You want to have a heart, it's written, Noef Isha Chasar Lev, a person that has got desire for women. He doesn't have a heart. You want to have a heart, really? You want to have a heart? Daven on that you will not have that desire that lasts for women. Daven on that. Really, you want to have a heart? Don't complain that you don't have a heart. There is a solution. Every day, minimum 30 minutes, davening with all of your powers to cry to Borei Olam, give me a heart that I will not chase after women, that I'm not going to look after women, that I'm not going to enjoy that desire, that lust. You want to have a heart? Alright, there is a solution. There is a solution. Why are you not going after that? Because you don't really want that. We're not allowed to lie to ourselves. We're not allowed to lie to ourselves. We don't want that. If you wanted that, you had that. בדרך שבה אדם רוצה ללך, מוליכים אותו. In the path that the person wants to go in, they're walking him in that path. They're leading him in that path. Everything that you don't have, you made it. You want your life to be like that. Even that you don't understand, Rabbeinu is bringing Likutei Moharan, that the verdicts that been made, that happening in heaven, they're not happening unless all of the creation is approving them, is saying okay, saying alright, we allow that thing to happen. You want to say, no, my troubles, I didn't want them, they forced me? No. Like the story of David HaMelech. The Navi came to David HaMelech and he told him, what's going to be the trial of that person with Kivsat Arash, with that sheep of that poor person? And he said, Ish Mavetu, that person you should kill him. So he told him, Natan HaNavi, he told him, you are that man. They're asking you questions and you're answering on other people, but actually those questions are on you. They're asking you, what to do with that horrible person? It's you. And you're answering, should kill him, should throw him away from the house. She need to divorce him, they need to kick him. Hashem gonna do this, Hashem gonna do that. You're cursing only yourself. 24 hours a day, you see only yourself and you don't grab it, you don't understand it. Borei Olam, He's got only you in His world and you have only Hashem Yitbarach in your world. There is nothing else except Hashem Yitbarach and all of this world created just for you. That you're going to reach your tikkun. This is why we need to have good eyes on all of Am Israel, in all of situations. You see the worst situation, if you recognize it as something, reality, that you could grab it, it means that it belonged to you. If it wasn't coming from your inside, you couldn't understand that. If you're going to see something that you cannot recognize, you will not notice it. Something that you cannot recognize, you're not noticing it. And if you notice it, if you saw it, if you realize that it's something, you know that. Where do you learn it from? Your life. Means that it's you. Every bad thing that you see, it's you. Borei Olam is talking to us. This is the nature of Borei Olam. Borei Olam is talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. This is what Borei Olam is doing. 24/7 Borei Olam is talking to Am Israel. Every second, every moment he is talking. In every thought, machshava, dibur, every speech, and every action, u'maaseh, that a person have, a person see, a person make, a person receive, in all of those, Borei Olam is sending signs to us, to each and every one of us, that we're going to wake up to know HaShem, to see HaShem. This is all of the cameras, all of the mics, all of the hidden cameras, all of the tapes, all of the... this is all to show us. Ain ro'ah ve'ozen shomat. There is someone that can see you, that someone that can hear you, someone that is writing everything that you're doing. The world's going to testify on you, on each and every one of us. To wake up in the world to come, we don't want that. We want to wake up today, to wake up and to do tshuva, to wake up and to say to Borei Olam, I know you, to achieve tshuva me'ahava, not tshuva mi'irah. We want to achieve tshuva. If tshuva mi'irah, this is our level, we want to achieve tshuva mi'irah. But if we can ask from Borei Olam something else, we're asking for tshuva me'ahava. What it means, tshuva me'ahava? Tshuva me'ahava, it means that you love HaShem. This is why you're doing tshuva, that you understand that it's all for the good, that it's coming for a wonderful reason. All of the verdicts, all of the bad things, all of the horrible things, Borei Olam is doing them. And who is that Borei Olam? It's the source of all good. It's the source of mercy. It's the love itself. It's the good itself. This is Borei Olam. So Borei Olam, faith, it means tshuva me'ahava. And Rav Shalom said, a person that is doing sha'ah hitbodedut every day, it's the only person that can achieve tshuva me'ahava. Why? Because if a person is doing tshuva, a person is going to tell you, I'm doing tshuva on all of my avonot, I'm doing tshuva. Why should I do sha'ah hitbodedut? On all of my avonot, a huge Talmid Chacham, on all of his sins, he's doing tshuva. Why it's not enough? Why should I do sha'ah hitbodedut?
He doesn't even know his sins.
Rav Shalom said, when a person is doing tshuva every day, even in the good days, even in Rosh Hashanah, even in Yom Kippur, that you were, all of the day you were inside the Bet Knesset, you doesn't have sins, you doesn't have avonot. We're talking about the tzaddik, he's clean. But in that day, he's also looking to do tshuva. It means that he doesn't afraid from punishment. He's looking for doing tshuva because he loves Hashem. Because he wants to listen to the voice of Chachamim, the voice of the tzaddik that said that we need to do sha'ah hitbodedut daily. And when you're showing to Borei Olam that you're doing tshuva, even when you're not sinning, this is tshuva me'ahava. Tshuva mi'irah, it's when you're doing tshuva because you're afraid of punishment. But if you're doing tshuva daily, even in the good days that you have, you're going to do tshuva. So it means that you're achieving tshuva me'ahava. And you can achieve that only by loving the tzaddikim, by listening to the voice of the tzaddikim. Only by that, Shamati Shimacha Yareti. You cannot achieve Yirat Shamayim without the tzaddikim. No one can get closer to Borei Olam without Moshe Rabbeinu. No one can get closer after that there is a tzaddik in the generation. No one can pass him. No one can climb above him. In the generation of Avraham Avinu, no one could get closer to Borei Olam without Avraham Avinu. In the generation of Moshe Rabbeinu, if someone would try to build a Mishkan to himself, it was 100% Avodah Zarah, even if he was doing the best that he could. It was 100% Avodah Zarah. You cannot get closer to Borei Olam, not by his messenger. Borei Olam put a tzaddik in the generation, you cannot get closer to Borei Olam without that tzaddik. If there is a tzaddik, and there is a tzaddik in this generation, because there is no generation that is orphan, and Dor Yatom, We cannot get closer to Borei Olam without that. If Rabbi Nachman Breslev said that a person cannot be a righteous man without doing sha'at bodedut beyom, 1 hour of it bodedut in a day, and it doesn't matter if it's a high person, if it's a low person, if it's a wise or a stupid, if he is rich or that he is poor, Rabbeinu said you cannot be a kosher person and righteous person without sha'at bodedut. You cannot be a righteous person without sha'at bodedut. This is why we need to listen to the voice of the tzaddikim. So it's hard for you. Wonderful. Understandable. Go to Borei Olam, tell him, listen Borei Olam, it's hard. It's hard. Wonderful. If you're talking about that with Borei Olam, it means that you not contradict the tzaddik. It means that you believe in the tzaddik. It means that you want to listen to the voice of the tzaddik. It is the beginning. This is how you start. On that you can build. On that you can create. But if from the beginning you contradict and you say, alright, so they do tshuva and they do this and this, and so you're very far. If you're talking, if you're fighting, if you're contradicting, you're very far from tshuva. The beginning of the tshuva, it's not to contradict. First of all, when they were telling to Rabbi Natan his qualities, that Rabbeinu called him my student, that Rabbeinu called him Yoshua, my Yoshua, his name was Natan. Rabbeinu called him Yoshua. So he said, they told him, are you Natan Yoshua? He said, no, my name is Natan. So they told him, why he's calling you Yoshua? Why Rabbeinu called him Yoshua? Because he was like Yoshua to Moshe, because he was the first student. Rabbi Natan said, because Rabbeinu is for sure, he is davening on me that I'm not going to contradict him. This is the point of view of the student. The student, when he hears that his Rebbe is praising him and calling him Yoshua, he understands from that he's so close to contradict the tzaddik, that now the tzaddik is working for him, that he will not contradict him. This is why he's calling me Yoshua, that maybe I'm going to be a student. That one day I'm going to be a student. Humility, this is the basic thing of all of Judaism. And without humility, you don't have nothing. Humility, it's kedusha. Humility, it's simcha. Humility, it's faith. Humility, it's gratitude. It's everything. Humility, it's Torah Kedosha. Humility, it's davening to Borei Olam. Humility, it's the source. It's the beginning of all kedusha. Without humility, you don't have nothing. The most important question: what is humility? We don't know. We don't know. Because we said, like we said it a lot of times already, all of our lackings, all of the things that we can see that we don't have, this is reality. It's not humility. We're far from HaShem. We cannot contain Kedusha. We don't know the Torah Kedosha. We don't have a good midot. It's reality. It's not humility. So what is humility? Rabbeinu is saying in Sefer HaMidot, when a person is davening on Am Yisrael, then he gonna achieve humility. Then he gonna achieve humility. So if you're not davening on Am Yisrael, what is your connection with Kedusha? What is your connection with humility? Borei Olam, he gave us a mouth that we're gonna daven on his sons. This was the job of Moshe Rabbeinu. What Moshe Rabbeinu is doing? Moshe Rabbeinu is just serving Am Yisrael, just helping Am Yisrael, just running for Am Yisrael, just trying to provide Am Yisrael everything. And when they have a tzara, a trouble, he's fighting for them, running for them. This is the real tzaddik. Each and every one of us, B'ezrat Hashem, going to achieve a bit of that, B'ezrat Hashem.
Amen.